Good morning, Card Bean. It's RJ back with another video, so let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day from 2005, Donruss Studios Studio Portrait Insert Set. This is the blue parallel for Leaf Certified materials. Now, I've gone over these a couple of times. This particular insert set, the Leaf Portraits, what they did, and it's a really annoying thing because there's so many you have to collect now. On the back, they advertise one of the various brands of Donruss Leaf. Okay, this one, they're advertising the 2005 certified materials. Okay, so they advertised 7 different brands on the back. And for each of those 7 different brands, they released this image, or whatever the image of the player was, in 8 varieties. It was always a blue frame. You might think this is gray, but they call it blue. It was either a blue frame, a red frame, which was more pink than red, a white frame, which was more gray than white, and then a sepia frame, which was, like a tan or a brown, a light brown frame. So you had 4 different frames, and each frame featured either a color image of this, whatever the player was, it would be this image from Mike Schmidt, or a black and white image. So there were 8 parallels of every advertised set, leading up to a total, if you're a super collector like me, there are 56 cards like this that I have to get of Mike Schmidt. This one was numbered 21 out of 30. Believe it or not, this is a duplicate for me. I accidentally bought a second one, not having properly logged my collection into the tradingcarddatabase.com. But anyway, that is my random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Random baseball item of the day, just like I did on Monday. I'm showing off another souvenir sheet I got. Again, this is Richie Ashburn, Hall of Fame, Phillies Hall of Famer Richie Ashburn. This particular release, I don't see a date on this one, so I can't exactly tell you when this was released. But it's always a limited number, 3,200 in this case. These were released, they were printed and inserted into scorecards. So if you bought a scorecard and kept score, they would have one of these, some kind of souvenir sheet like this in there, always fairly limited. And this is my Richie Ashburn one that I got one year. I'm sure I had many Richie Ashburns. I still have a large collection of these in my in a binder that I keep for random stuff. Someday I'll probably end up selling these. They really have limited value unless you're a super collector of such things, and I am not a Richie Ashburn super collector per se. But that is my random baseball item of the day. My today's trivia question, let me say. Today's trivia question, still relying heavily on the Sporting News Trivia book. I find amazing trivia questions because it's hard. I'm giving you ones that take a lot more research than my normal trivia questions. So let's see what we can do with this one. There are 2 players, 2 only, that were ever members of a team that was no hit by both Sandy Koufax and Nolan Ryan. So, and it doesn't have to be the same team, but Nolan Ryan threw 7 no-hitters, Sandy Koufax threw 4. There are only 2 men in the history of the game who were members of the opposing team when one of those no-hitters of each men happened. So you've got to tell me that. Name me one of the 2, either one. So if you could find one, you've done your job. You don't need to go searching for the second one. But 2 men were on teams that were no-hit by both Sandy Koufax and Nolan Ryan. So what you're playing for, another 1953 Archives card. This one, last on Monday, we did Pee Wee Reese, now his Dodger teammate, Roy Campanella. It's also the 1953 Topps Archives copy, so it's a reprint, but still it's a really cool card of a Hall of Famer Roy Campanella. So send me an email with the correct answer. I will include my email in the description below, along with a repeat of that question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer. We'll pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that one. Today, update on one of my various PSA set registers. Okay, so I finished my K-Mart register the other week. I had sent in a PSA submission, got it back, and it was the last 10 cards I needed to complete that submission. Now, again, the reason I did a lot of PSA submissions for these cards is because it was difficult to even find some of them up for purchase. There are not a lot of people who went through the trouble to slab up every card from the K-Mart set. So you take what you can in some cases. I have purchased as low as an 8, but I think most of the ones I've purchased have always been 10s that I've purchased. But when I started sending in cards to get slabbed on my own, I've gotten everything from a 6 to a 10. And I'm very sad about having a 6. In fact, I'm not even happy about having a 7 in that register. I want, frankly, I want nothing but 10s, but some cards have never even been graded as 10s. So anyway, I follow cards of the K-Mart set on the Bay very closely. I want to find, at the moment a 10 pops up, I want to grab it if I don't have a 10 already. Well, soon after I completed the set, I immediately went on the Bay and found 3 cards that were up for sale, that were PSA 10s. One was the Willie Mays card. This was, again, it's 1982 card celebrating his 1965 MVP. A second one was Boog Powell. Boog Powell won the American League MVP in '70. That card was in a PSA 10 up for sale. The third one I want to talk a little bit more about, but I'll get back to it. This is my copy, a PSA 8, of the final card in the set, card number 44. They started the 1962, it was a 1982 Topps release for K-Mart, this was. And you can see here, K-Mart was highlighting their own 20th anniversary of being in business. They started in 1962. So they did a card set commemorating every MVP in that span. Now, it just so happened that at the end, there were 41 cards, and they decided, since Topps was doing 44 card set box sets at the time, just like Fleer always did. I guess it probably had something to do with the printing sheet itself. There was 44 cards on it or something. I'm not certain. Anyway, they added 3 cards at the end, which were just highlights from, various times in the span between 1962 and 1982. And this one was Pete Rose's, I think, when he got his National League leading hit, it passed Stan Musial. Yeah. So this is highlighting 1981 when he got his National League leading hit. Now, I have this at a PSA 8. When I saw the cards for sale on the Bay and there was a PSA 10, I thought it was of this card. It was not. It was of this card, a card I already had a PSA 10 in. So I bought a second one. I don't have that second one. It just so happened that the Philly show was a couple weeks ago, and I went to the Philly show and dropped this off with 4 sharp corners to have them sell it, along with a couple other cards I was getting rid of. So that card is immediately up for sale. But I thought I got a PSA 10 of this one. I did not. I'm a little bummed. But I did get PSA 10s of Willie Mays and Boog Powell. Oh, that's the wrong one. I got a 10. Where'd my 10 go? Oh, I know where it is. Hang on a second. I'm digging it out. I replaced it, and I forgot to... there we go. So here's my PSA 10 Willie Mays. Kind of a new holder, which is cool. Old style holder, but still a PSA 10 of Boog Powell. I forgot to take this PSA 8. This is the one I sent in and got slabbed. I wasn't happy that it only got an 8. I mean, again, take a look at these two cards. What's the difference? Perhaps mine is slightly off-centered. I don't think there's anything wrong with the corners. But again, it's not my decision. It's PSA's decision. So who knows? But in either way, I got my PSA 10 now. So I updated these two cards. In fact, I think they were both 8s. My old Willie was an 8. And you can see my Boom Pal was 8. I forgot to take this to the Philly show and get it sold by 4 Sharp Cardinals. I'll do it at the next Philly show. But again, these two were updated in my set, so I have 10s of these now. I'm still several cards short. Out of the 44 that exist in the set, I have 28 that are PSA 10s. PSA 10s just don't come up that often. And when they do, they're in the cards I already have slabbed as 10s. I know that I got a 7, I believe, of the Roberto Clemente. And right now there's a 9 up for sale. I will very likely be purchasing that 9, at least upgrade to a 9. I don't know if I'll ever see a 10 again, but you know, when it does, I'm going to. People might think I'm crazy, but I love this box set because it is the first box set ever made in the modern era where, again, in my mind, what I consider a box set, it's a set released only in the box set format. It only came, in fact, I have another one sitting here. The only way you could get it was going to K-Mart and buying one of these boxes. That's the only way you could have gotten a card this set. It wasn't available in packs. It wasn't released in any other way. It was this box. That's it. So it was the first box set released in that format through a retail distributor. And I'm trying to get the full set in nothing but PSA 10s. I'm currently number 3 on the set registry. Believe it or not, I'm not the only one who's doing this. Somebody else, 2 other people are higher than me, and I'm very miffed about that. I want to be at least number 1 in this. I'm not going to be number 1 in any other PSA set registry, I don't think, but I'm going to try my best to achieve number 1 status in this one. So there you have it today. That is my showcase for today. 2 new cards, 2 updated cards, I should say, for my PSA set registry of the 1982 K-Mart set. Appreciate you stopping by. If you like that video, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate all the support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card community, all right? And I'll have another video dropping on Friday, obviously. The Friday video with another trivia question and cool prize to give away. Really cool cards to show off on Friday. So if you like vintage, if you like pre-war, come back on Friday and see what I got, all right? Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Hope to see you again soon. Take care.